Okay, so we are back on the content creator server, and as always, we have a little bit of an early access to units, right? So today we are gonna be testing out BAILI TUSU. I hope I pronounced his name correctly, right? But this will be the next banner coming out after Scarlet, right? I have already summoned him. I upgraded him to Essential level 5, so I'll showcase first of all his kit real quick. Then we'll check out the Nexus engraven build that I have on him, and we'll test out him in general in various different contents, such as the joint training, some Nexus reputation bosses and stuff like that, right? Now, one thing I saw mentioned in my Scarlet video is that you'd like to see units being tested at a lower seed level, right? So I know that since we do get a little bit of summons, I am able to skill it up a little bit higher, right? So unfortunately, I have already summoned him before that comment has been left. So for this time, BAILI TUSU is at seed level 3, but for future units, I'll make sure to keep them at seed level 0 or 1, depending on whether the trait is really necessary for them. In this case, it wasn't, but unfortunately, I cannot downgrade a seed level anymore. So yeah, we're gonna be testing him at seed level 3, but for future units, I'll make sure to test them at seed level 0 or 1, right? Okay, and a quick recap of his skills. So at first, these skills were very difficult for me to understand, but from what I can see, he is more of like a scaling unit, which needs a little bit of a setup in order to work properly, right? So all of his skills have a regular effect as well as a rekindle effect, right? So what this means is the regular effect will be activated at first. After you have used the ultimate, you will get a rekindled phase for 30 seconds, which makes both of your other skills upgraded, right? So Banish Evil would become Banish Evil rekindled, and essentially it's pretty much the same thing, but the damage you do is increased significantly, right? So you can see from when it comes to multipliers, 480% of attack and 640 of vitality, and the upgraded version is 1,600% of each. So yeah, the damage multipliers definitely go up quite a bit. For the other skill, again, you can see that the Kindle version also has a little bit higher multipliers. The Kindle version no longer gives you spark stacks, which basically increase his basic attack as well as basic damage resistance, right? But as a trade-off, he will be able to get a lot more damage, he will be able to break a lot more block gauges, and just generally upgrade his whole skills, right? Now, another cool mechanic that he has is based on how much HP he has lost throughout the fight, he'll have 3 different phases, right? So when he lost 50% of HP, he will increase his crit rate by 20%. Once he lost 100% HP, he will increase his crit damage by 20%, as well as reduce the seed skill cooldown from 80 seconds down to only 30 seconds, right? And for the third one, it will unlock after 150% HP was lost, and that will essentially buff his spark stacks by a lot, which increases the basic damage resistance, ignoring when it comes to attacking enemies, right? Now, don't worry, the level of these HP losses will be visible during the fight, right? You will be able to see both the level which you are at, as well as how many spark stacks that you have. So we will be able to judge how much damage increases based on how many stacks he has, right? Now, for the teams themselves, as well as the Nexus engravings, I have consulted with players from the China servers, so they gave me some insight on how you have to build these units, right? So for the team itself, we are looking at a Cyrus leader. We're looking at BAILI TUSU as the second fire damage dealer. We need Begonia, oh, I almost butchered that name, Begonia in there. She will be the core unit in increasing both Cyrus and BAILI TUSU damage, because as you know, when an ice units attack a unit inside the fire zone, they will be building up those melt stacks, right? And if we click a look at what the melt does, so essentially whenever an enemy inside the fire zone takes ice damage, they will get melt stacks. You can get a total of 60, I believe, and yeah, each stack will increase the damage that you do on the boss up to a maximum reduction of 60%. So basically the boss will be able to take more damage from all of your units based on how many stacks he has. You will see those stacks just below his HP bar whenever I do a battle showcase, right? So the general idea behind the team, you create a fire zone with Cyrus, right? You will stack the melt stacks with Dagonia, and in the end you will be nuking the boss with both Cyrus and BAILI TUSU once he has built up enough melt stacks. For the fourth unit, this one was advised to me as a filler unit. I personally really like Freda, right? Another option you can use is Mo, because one of the engravings that you have on this build will give you additional inspire stacks based on a barrier being cast, right? And Mo is able to cast 2 of the barriers from her active skills, which will make increasing inspire stacks quite easy, right? But even if you don't plan on using her, just the 10 stacks from Freda will be more than enough usually, right? As for the Nexus build, this is what I currently have, right? I ran it in the War-Torn region, basically in Nexus Mirage. As you can see, all of the active skills, or like the main skills, are at the maximum level 3. We have some skills right here, and I have been advised to make sure to get Strength Works Miracles, because this increases the damage you do with your fire units by a bunch, right? I believe it is available in one of the Nexus engravings, right? And for this build, one very important thing is that you do reach 1000 vitality, because 2 of the Nexus or not Nexus but Race Awakening skills require you to have 750 vitality as well as 1000 vitality, right? And for the traces we are using, these will be 5 SSR traces and 1 SR Rarity trace. So we have Emptiness, Karma, Born from Ashes, Company, Behind the Curtains, and for the SR one we have Codename Diversity, right? And now let's check him out inside some battles, right? So I'm still unsure what is the best place to test them out, but we're gonna test it out on a 300% difficulty joint training, right? After that, I'll test it out in the War-Torn region, and we'll go to the highest memory challenge, right? And we'll test it at Miss Camilla, because this boss is vulnerable to fire, so this will be the perfect place to test it out. After that, we'll see what other content we can find and we'll test it out there as well, right? Okay, so let's start with joint training, right? We're gonna go with this team. Again, as I said, if you don't want to get those extra inspire stacks, Mo is definitely not a necessary unit, especially if you don't have her. I do use her there mostly just for the 4 free inspire stacks, right? Because what I do is I'll just cast a barrier and that's it, right? I will switch it back to Freda because she buffs my damage a bit more. But yeah, as you can see, as long as I launch this little barrier skill, I instantly get 4 inspire stacks, which makes it much easier, right? After that, I will cast the ultimate with Cyrus, because right after the ultimate, what I want to do is use his active skill in order to create a fire zone in there. Now, I do not care if he dies, just like he did right now, right? I'm gonna switch in Freda in his place, and now we can start building up the melt stacks. So the enemy is inside the fire zone, right? I'm gonna launch an ice attack, and as you can see, the boss currently has armor melt. He has 5 stacks right now. I believe her regular active skill gives 5 stacks by default. Her ultimate gives a bit more, right? But for each stack, we are now increasing the damage we are doing. So I'm gonna use a debuff from Freda. We're also gonna get 2 more inspire stacks, and we can start doing some damage with him, right? So first of all, you'll see that whenever I use the skill, he will gain a little bit of damage. Basically, he'll gain his stacks that I mentioned. As you can see here, he's currently at rank 1 for his one of those traits, right, at HP lost, and he currently has 10 stacks which buff his damage. So we're gonna wait for the second phase. I believe he should be able to do more than enough damage. I'm gonna get more inspire stacks from both Freda and her. And yeah, I mean, joint training boss is a little bit on the squishier side by now, right? You can see how he now has 18 stacks. He has lost a total of 150% HP or more. So his damage is gonna be absolutely insane. I'm gonna launch, you know what, 95% HP on the boss. We're gonna launch one ultimate. His ultimate rage, by the way, is absolutely insane. And can we one-shot it with all the armor melt, all of that? No, unfortunately, he only did 40%. Damn, that's not lucky, right? I think we can still finish up the boss, hopefully, right? I'm not sure, actually, but yeah. Usually, you will be able to one-shot it if you do a little bit more damage with him before the ultimate, right? But yeah, not an issue at all, right? Now let's try the same team inside the DST 5 difficulty Miss Camila, right? This is from the Nexus Mirage War Torn. I have beat it with this team already, so I do know that it works, at least most of the time, right? Unless I blunder something, which does happen with me, right? I'm still learning a bit about the game, but yeah, we're gonna try it out. This one is much more difficult when it comes to the HP for the boss, right? So we're gonna give it BAILI TUSU a much better shot here, because I believe we will be able to stack it him way more as well. So I'm gonna split these units up, because the boss does like to launch this a little bit of a cane attack. We're gonna see, okay, he's targeting BAILI TUSU, so I'm gonna use his skill. You know, we're not doing damage at the moment. I'm just gonna move him to the side. We're gonna give him stacks. As you can see, he loses 50% of his HP just from that active skill, but he also gains a shield and he gains a bunch of stacks, right? After that, as per usual, we're gonna ult with Cyrus and then use his active skill right after. Now, with this particular boss, I do want to mention that whenever you use active skills, he will start spawning these weird little tentacles or whatever, just by the time Cyrus's second skill comes up, right? So you do need to make sure to kill those. But yeah, we're gonna launch the barrier for the stacks. We're gonna start stacking the melt, right? Because for this one, we will be able to stack way more of it. I'm gonna use some explosion kegs, right? Why not? These are free. But yeah, we're gonna wait. Yeah, as you can see, he spawns those. Unfortunately, I do have to wait for Cyrus because, yeah, my terminal does lose it. Sometimes I like to save Cyrus stacks, but then I am not able to get the burn on the boss. But yeah, we're gonna one-shot these. I'm hoping everything will work out okay. I'm gonna use the second barrier. I'm gonna switch back Freda right after. Because her stacks are over. Okay, I'm gonna move Freda a bit to the back. We really don't want her to be in the front line. One more melt stack from Begonia. Boink. We got 10 stacks by now. We're gonna launch a bit of a nuke. I believe I should get... Yeah, I'm at the rank 2. I'm gonna call it rank 2. I don't even know how you can call it properly. Rank 2, we got 20 spark stacks. Our goal... Oh, Homo got one shot. Begonia got one shot. Oh, that's unlucky. But I'm gonna continue the run just to see how it works out, right? We currently have 20 stacks. I'm gonna use his ultimate just to see the damage, right? This is already a bit of a scuffed run, but we're just testing him out, right? To see how it works. Damage pretty good. Was that 56 million? Did I look at that correctly? Right, but you can see that even with 10 melt stacks, it's already doing very good damage. I'm not gonna launch the ultimate damage boost yet. I'm gonna wait for... Oh, by the way, before skill usage, you can see that whenever you use your ultimate, it will increase the current stacks that you have by 50%. So I believe I had 20 stacks. It increased it to 30. However, while in the Kindle phase, I do not get any stacks, so I won't be able to increase it further until my ultimate phase is up. And I really wish you could just kill the last 1%, right? Okay, the boss is going into the second phase. We have our ultimate ready. We have one more Freda stack. So I'm gonna buff her up. Should I buff her up? Yeah, I'm gonna buff her up. I'm gonna use the ultimate from Cyrus. I'm gonna save his... I don't know, should I save his skill? Yeah, unfortunately that does not seem to reach... You know what, I'm not gonna save the skill. I'm just gonna go for this. Why not? Yeah, it really hurts that we're only at 10 stacks, but oh well, right? Okay, we're gonna launch this skill. It's an okay damage source, right? Nothing too special. I'm gonna try to rerun this run with something like 60 damage melt stacks, and we'll see the difference in the damage, right? But yeah, buffing up with this, I'm gonna just try to finish the run and get a successful one. Okay, I'm gonna buff this. I'm gonna explode some of these for the extra damage. Boom, boom, and boom. Have some fire zones. We're gonna do... Oh, no. Oh, we're still damaging the boss. I believe he spawned one of those tentacle thingies, which is actually perfect for testing, right? We're not gonna be hitting the boss, we're gonna be hitting these, but I'm hoping we can one-shot all of them. Come on! Ooh, I believe that is a one-shot. Yeah, so he instantly one-shot all of those. The boss comes back, and can we one-shot the boss? Close, close. But yeah, overall, pretty good, right? I'm just gonna add a short clip of me testing the damage with 60 melt stacks, just to see for comparison, right? Okay, I'm gonna launch an ultimate with him, right? So I have 60 melt stacks. I have the ultimate ready. The boss does have 40% HP left, right? So what I'm gonna... No, actually I do already have a Fredda ultimate. So I'm gonna boost up my attack from terminal and we're just gonna nuke the boss just to see how much damage we can do. Do you reckon we can one-shot him? I don't think we can, but we'll see. We'll see. No. So we did 50 million, which is pretty respectable damage. I'll say he didn't enter the third phase yet, so I'm hoping maybe I'll be able to get the another ultimate in the second phase, right? But yeah, very, very respectable damage, although personally I'm still more of a fan of Cyrus because even his regular skill is able to dash the same 50 million, right? Okay, his ultimate is ready, the boss is at 75% HP. We'll see what happens, right? So we're gonna buff up with Fredda. We're gonna drop a nuke and we're gonna see what happens, right? If you could move. Unfortunately, I cannot move there. How much damage can he do with 60 stacks? Max Inspire, I believe. I don't know. Honestly, yeah, he died. I don't know. I'm not a massive fan so far. Like, I'm comparing him with Scarlet, right? And I've had way more fun than Scarlet. Then again, I could be doing something wrong, right? Feel free to correct me because this is basically the team I was advised to, right? I may be following the advice wrong, but overall, as I can see, 60 armor melts, all of that, it should work, right? It should work, but the overall damage, again, that is an AOE damage. It would work amazingly against plenty of units, right? Another awesome thing about him is that he does get the ability to target air units, which a lot of fire teams lack. So for example, Mo does not have any attacks that could target the air targets. Cyrus does not have any in his team as well, so he does become a very good option as a unit that can target those, right? But overall, like if we're looking at boss damage, I definitely think Cyrus will be the one to go for, right? He is more of an AOE clearer. Okay, and I decided to give him one last chance, right? I'm clearing, I believe this is story mode 4, elite mode, right? And level something like 8, I believe, right? So we're gonna try this out, right? I do want to place her here because I'll need to push those back a bit. But yeah, placement. I don't know how much Begonia is gonna be useful here because we don't really have like a boss type that we can melt, right? A lot of the enemies will be able to be, I don't know, defeated a little bit easier than a floor D5 Camilla, right? Okay, let's hit this one, create a fire zone. Yeah, I mean, we don't even need a fire zone in there. We can see that she is able, or Cyrus is able to defeat those. Now for these guys, I'm gonna push them back way further. And hopefully by the time... Oh, are they stuck? Are they actually stuck? Damn, that's unlucky. You know what I'm gonna do? Should I go for them? I am gonna go for them actually. Because from my experience during the stage, those are very annoying to deal with, right? Begonia, I'm afraid I cannot use for much. I can use her to stack all of these up, right? But apart from that, it's whatever. I'm just gonna use both of the barriers instantly. My goal with the barriers is really not to block as much as to buff up the Inspire stacks. Okay, we got Cyrus ready. We're gonna use him to delete these camps. There we go, that one deleted. We're gonna leave him in there. We're gonna buff up attack with her. And I believe he should be able to one-shot. I do want to go further away because they do explode. Can he one-shot? He can one-shot, that's pretty good. That's lovely. And we do have the AOE, so what I'm gonna do with the AOE is I'm gonna wait for a little bit of a crowd of enemies and we're gonna try it out in there. See how much damage it does. It looks like I am getting hit there a bit. I'm gonna start stacking, right? I mostly want to stack a lot of these so we can see. Okay, we are already at the 3rd max. Oh, there's a lot of enemies coming in here. You know what? I'm gonna start using Begonia. I don't see myself getting any melt stacks in this one anyway. Oh, and there we go, air targets actually. I believe none of my units can target them. So whenever I use the ultimate, I don't want to use it yet, right? I don't want to use it yet, but whenever I start using my ultimate, he will be able to target those. I'm keeping the terminal skill for now. Yeah, as you can see, Cyrus cannot target them, but if I select the ultimate, you'll see that all of the air targets would be hit, which is pretty amazing, right? Okay, we're just gonna let this run. They can hit Cyrus for a bit, that's not an issue at all. I'm waiting for more enemies. Nah, that's just not enough, that's just not enough. I'm gonna wait for a bigger wave. You know what? I think we can just skip towards the last wave and we'll see how much he performs. Ooh, okay, and we got a lot of air targets, so I'm gonna buff up with Preda. I'm gonna use ultimate buff with Preda, right? Wait, does Begonia target air targets? No, she does not. Okay, that's perfect then, because he is quite literally the only unit in our team that can target them. And let us see the damage. He has level 3 tactical upgrade or whatever. Look at that! That was 320 million damage. Am I getting attacked? Yeah, I'm getting attacked from the other side. So he has level 3 trait, right? He has 45 stacks, so his damage is absolutely insane. He was actually able to one-shot those as well. Wow. So yeah, you can see that he really excels at doing a lot of AoE damage in a very big range actually, which I think will also be pretty good for simultaneous raid, because in there you have to target a lot of, how do you say it? A lot of clones at once, and his range will cover it. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek into it, right? We do have the simultaneous raid coming up. It will be the Sephonis boss. I've beat difficulty 200%. 250 I'm still trying to figure out. It's a bit difficult for me, but I'll see what I can do, right? I'm gonna showcase this content regardless whether I beat it or not, just so you have an understanding of what it is. But yeah, overall, BAILI TUSU, it's a fun AoE clear unit to play around, right? I'm not a massive fan of having to stack a lot of his abilities before he becomes useful, right? I feel like with Scarlet, you needed to stack a bit less in order for her to be an absolute powerhouse. But overall, still a pretty good unit for a fire team, right? So yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll make sure to let you know what I know about him so far before he is released in global, right? And yeah, that's about it. And peace.